Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Admiral Pegasus and this is the Pegasus Show, here today presenting the USS Newton. So yes, now I finally have something to record because I've still not got my head around the other videos that I've been trying to think about how to record them, but this one is going to be so simple. So today on today's show, we are going to be looking at this little baby here. Is my newest acquisition. Yes, so I get to play with this. It's going to look at ship abilities, going to look at upgrade costs, but we're also going to compare it with the other G4s, and we're going to need stfc.space for that one. And basically just ask, which one do you go for? In all honesty, right? To be honest, there's not really much difference between the lot. Now, before we actually get into the upgrading this thing and seeing how far we can actually go in this video, yes, we are actually going to see how far we can tier this thing up. What we're going to do is going to jump over to stfc.space, where we're going to actually look at some information about this ship. And like I said, we're going to compare it to the other two. And like I say, ask that question. Which one is going to be better? Okay, so here we are in stfc.space, and we've got the Newton up right now. And as you can see, its main ability is confiscate evidence, and which basically means this ship is going to gain a 10% out of the box, a 10% boost to your resources from hostiles. Now, bearing in mind that this will be on the base level, not any research that you've got added on top, but this increases by level, as you can see here by this board here. Obviously, we're going to start at 10%, and my initial aim for when upgrading this thing today will be get to tier 5. So as you can see, tier 5 at level 25 in the middle there is around about 43%. And obviously, if I can get any further, I would potentially be looking at tier 7. That's going to give me a 60% boost as well. Now, maxing it out, of course, if you really wanted to go there, is 120%, but that's tier 12. That's going to be extremely expensive to do. Now, its build cost, obviously, it's going to require 350 blueprints, and this is literally all base. So bear in mind that there is absolutely no research involved here. It's going to cost you around 200 days to actually build, and it's going to cost you 100 million titanium, 3.8 million dilithium. I'm sorry I put that below my body, and a bit of G4 common ore and crystal as well. Obviously, requirements is you are going to need the G4 ship research, and you are going to need shipyard 46. That is going to be the same for all three ships, and I believe the ship's ability, which we saw further back up, will also say the same thing as well. Now, what do we need for upgrading this thing? Well, to go to 12 tiers, we can actually shrink myself down a little bit further and put myself back in my normal place. Now, as you can see, doing the full 12 tiers is going to cost you a shy under 4 trillion titanium to actually do, and 166 billion dilithium. Now, bearing in mind, take your research into account, that will shrink those costs, and which will be the same here as well with this lot. So it's obviously going to need the battleship parts and some materials, which is it's not a shock, it's not a surprise really. So just bear that in mind. Now, like I said, we are aiming for tier 5 today. So if I take this all the way down to tier 5, 124 billion titanium, 4.3 billion dilithium. But if you actually look here as well, it's only going to be uncommon and common parts, ore and crystal as well. So hopefully we're going to be able to do that. We'll see how far we can go. If we can get to tier 7, this is what it's going to cost. But like I say, this is base level, no research as well. So just bear that in mind. Now, the costs, I think, are pretty much the same for all three ships, all the three different ships. So let's quickly just jump right down here. We can have a look at all these little bits when we get back into game. Here is the firing pattern of the Newton. Now, as you can see, it's got 4 particular weapons. The other two ships only have 3 weapons. But as you can see here, it's literally 6-3, 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 all the way across. So six phaser shots to kick it off. Then the following round is 3 kinetic weapons. So not exactly full frontal and giving it the best possible start, but it's not particularly too bad. It's going to hold its own and keep going. So, and if we have a quick look at the warp tables as well, kicking out the dock at 140, bearing in mind again, enhanced warp cores are not included on this. So tier 5, I'm going to be looking at potentially warp range 180. If I get up to tier 7, obviously it's going to be 200. So add 15 onto that for me. And we're looking at 195 or 215 as well. So we'll be able to get into G5 space. Not a problem. But that's if we can actually get it to tier 5. I'm kind of hoping I can do that. I think I've got the stuff I need. So, but we'll have to have a look. So now, like I said, we're going to compare this with the other 2 ships. And the reason I'm going to do this is because it's like, what rear would you actually choose? Now, I've chosen the Newton, but a lot of players will potentially look at the Pylum. Now, the reason that they go for the Pylum is not the ship's ability, which is Empire's Tax. Again, exactly the same tierings, same number of blueprints, same credit costs, except this time it needs Romney, not Federation. Same construction costs, except it's gas and crystal. Same requirements. Upgrading, as you can see, titanium and dilithium costs are the same. Materials are pretty much the same. But what is actually the difference in this one is this particular thing here. It has got 2 kinetic weapons and an energy weapon, and it's a full frontal first round. So the energy weapons fires 3 shots every single round, and then obviously that kinetic weapon will fire every single other round. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Just literally straight out the gate, punch, jobs are good, and this can actually pack quite a blow. This is almost similar to what the Saladin can do back in level 28. When you get that, it's got that big gun at the front on that first round. Get it off, it's going to do some serious damage, but obviously it's only got the 1 energy weapon. Now, obviously, the torpedoes on this one aren't as big as the Saladin's big gun per level state. So, obviously, they're going to be just as powerful when they shoot. But the one thing is they're shooting against bigger ships. So, it's not going to have that same impact that the Saladin used to have. But, again, it's big, frontal, starts off the fight, and puts the opponent on the back foot. So this is the reason why a lot of players go for the Pylum. So, and like I said, again, everything else is pretty much the same. Now, the other one is the Klingon ship, is the Corinar. And if we can just get the information for it. There it is. Again, G4 ship. This time its ability is called Loot the Weak. But again, exactly the same. It's all exactly the same. 350, 508,000 credits, 200 days to build. Costs, oh hello, didn't mean to bring that up. Costs are pretty much the same, except this time it's what, ore and gas. So, and then go down to the firing pattern of the ship. As you can see, not exactly as good as the Pylum. 3 and 2 on the energy weapons. Obviously, the first phaser turret is once every 3 rounds. So 1, 4, 7, 10. Yeah, okay. Obviously, it does have a single phaser firing 2 shots every single round. And then it's got a photo impact torpedo as well as its kinetic starting in round 2. So like I say, not exactly the best firing pattern out of the 3. I would tip it around about, on average, similar to the Newton, but maybe slightly, the Newton will have that advantage on the battle triangle premise. Obviously, this will have the battle triangle premise against the Pylum, but again, the Pylum can come in and smack. But typical Klingon ship, their explorers actually have these kinetic weapons, just like the Burrell does back at level 32. Now, crewing, I forgot to mention that in the Newton. As you can see, it has 6 slots. doing at 5, 10, 20, 35, 45 and 50. And its maximum bonus will top out at 450% with a stats of 30,000 on each level. So that's what it is to level it out. And we'll see what crewing we can do for the Newton and see how close to that 450% we can actually get. Now, bearing in mind with the Valdor and the Kelvin I've got, I can hit that 400 very, very easily. So can I hit 450% here? Yeah, we'll have to actually have a look. So now, obviously, I've gone and got the Newton because I'm looking at the Federation, and as a pretty much a free-to-play player myself, with the exception of the Battle Pass I buy and the odd little spends that I've actually done, I am pretty much a free-to-play player, but I can't call myself a pure. I'm not pure. I'm tainted, but yeah. I'm now looking at these ships are costing me a bomb to repair. Repairing the Valdor and the Kelvin cost me around about 220 million titanium just to repair both of them from being destroyed. So free-to-play players will have to take that into account. Now, if you're a spender, you don't need to worry too much about the titanium side of things. So you can pretty much say, yeah, I'm actually going to go for, I don't know, 2 of these or 3 of these. But then again, that's going to be your personal preference. If you would like to go Cleons, obviously you're going to get the one we've got here, which is the Corinar. If you're Federation, you're going to do what I did. You go for the Newton, or Romans, you're going to go for the Pilum. Or you might just decide, you know what, I don't care. I'll look at the ships and decide which one I think is best. The Pilum is going to be your best one for PvE. No questions asked. The Newton's good for PvE because it's a battleship. They're designed for grinding. But like I said, the Pilum's got that full frontal shot on that very first round. So that basically tips it to be slightly better than the Newton, in all honesty. But when the fight really gets going, yeah, to be honest, the only thing that's going to work in the Pilum's favour against the Newton is the fact that the Pilum in the battle triangle is an interceptor, which beats a battleship hands down. So now, obviously, strike teams for PvP, they're going to make a big difference to players. So if you've got a strike team, yeah, okay. But which one would you go? Which one would I suggest going for? In all honesty, I would probably say the Pilum if you really want to go for PvE. But it's a good PvP ship as well. So I can't argue against that. But obviously the battleship, yeah, well, I'm primarily a PvE player. It's not very often I do PvP. And the repair cost for this thing is going to be an absolute nightmare. So, yeah, it's just going to sit in my base defense, join incursions. So, but anyway, let's jump back into the game and let's have a look at the Newton based on my research and what we're actually looking at. So, but before we quickly do that, we're going to quickly come back up here and we're going to have a look at this impulse engine. Oh, hang on. No, so we want the Newton first, don't we? We don't want the Corinar. So there we go, Newton. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick a weapon, and I'm not quite sure which one that is. So we're not going to pick out of the weapons. Armor, that's a good one. So if we actually, you know, if we did this right, we took the range off it, so it goes down to level 1. Here we go. So, oh, for crying out loud, it would have to do that, wouldn't it? So put the, I asked it to show stats. So I'm going to put that there. Here we go. And it's not showing anything, so I think I need to do that, don't I? And that's probably, here we go. Because what I want to do is I want to show off the efficiency. Now, look at the armor here, 900 million. And the crystal will the common crystal will say is just under 3,000. So I want you to make a mental note of those particular costs, the titanium and the common crystal. Because what we're going to do is we're going to see if actually my research is going to reduce the cost of what I'm doing from this by either just a tiny amount or a decent whack. So that will give us an idea of how far we can approximately go in upgrading. So let's jump back into game and have a look. Okay, so there she is, the lovely Newton. So let's click the back on here and we're going to go to upgrade. So now, remember, we're looking for the armor. That's the shield. So the armor is obviously this one just above my head. So, what did we say? Just under 3,000 common crystal. Well, we've dropped around about 45%. Yes, 45% reduction in my materials. And as you can see, the cost has gone down from, what did we say it was? 900 million. Well, 899 million. Look at that. 156.3 million. Now, that's a massive, massive drop. If I remembered in editing, I'd have put the percentage drop. If I remembered. If it doesn't appear, sorry, I didn't do it. But that is a massive, massive drop. So for me, this is not going to come down to about how much titanium I've got. It's going to come down to materials and obviously, as we know, those good old ship parts. Yeah. But, I mean, what was... we didn't actually call that one up as a look. So just bear me 2 seconds. 8,715. 8,715. We're down by nearly 50%. Nearly 50%. Not quite there. I think we're on about 47%. That's a drop. That is a massive, massive drop. Now, take a look at my resource bar at the top. I've only got 6.5 billion titanium. Yeah. I'm going to need a bit more, aren't I? Okay. Oh, I've just added 32 billion to it. Now I shouldn't have to use all that. If I've done my math correctly before I did this video, and yes, I did do math before this video. In fact, I did it a few weeks ago. I should only need about 23 billion. So I should have about 15 billion left, give or take, by the time we get to tier 5, if we can get there. So now I'm doing it today on the Saturday because we have the Epic Officer SLB and SMS. So I'm hoping to see how far up I'm actually going to get on that. So here comes the speed up of, I'm just going to cut the camera off. I'm going to speed it up. So just bear me, so here we go. Well, we've come into uncommon parts already. So that's going to be a big one, but let's carry on. Okay, so there we go. We actually went one tier further than I was expecting. And we've not particularly done too bad as well. We've gone straight up to what? We've got the armor, and we've got the cargo bay, we've got the warp engines, and we've also got a phaser turret. So now our warp range actually stands at 215. 215! Wow, I can get quite... Oh, well, actually, to be perfectly frank, I can't get too far into G5 space because it's 230. But, hey-ho, put Grush on there, I can certainly get a lot further. But then again, I've got Voyager and the Feature for them. But anyway, that's me upgrading the the Newton. So, basically, now, what do I crew it with? Well, it's going to be a no-brainer, is it? You're just going to literally look at it and you're going to go Pike, Monroe, Chen. Yes. Standard PvE crew for up to level 51. So now as you can see, the stats only stand at 315%. So we need to get that extra officer. So I'm going to go straight to the upgrade menu a second. And we're going to slam it up to level 5. So I'm going to burn a little bit more latinum here. It doesn't like me when I do this. So there we go. So now we've got the first officer slot open. And that's it now. I'm going to level this up through active grinding and just, yeah, kick it out. So what's my officer stats gone up to now? Well, apparently not an awful lot. I mean, what was the doctor? Level 10. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take it to level 10 because that will give us the extra the extra loot bonus to go with it as well. Because obviously Hugh and the Doctor are pretty much my primarily below deck officers. Obviously Hugh giving that kinetic boost and the Doctor doing the loot increase as well. So there we go, level 10, we now have 2 particular officers. I'm up to 28 million power. God only knows what I'm going to happen when I'm going to actually do those last 20 levels over the next several days. But find out in the live stream because I guarantee she's going to be on the live stream as well. But anyway, so that is the Newton. There you go, 2 officer slots open. I'm up to 360%, so yeah. I'm definitely going to get that 3rd slot open, and I'm definitely going to be working towards getting that tier 7. So, I hate to see the repair costs on this thing, but yeah. So, that's it. That's the USS Newton. I'm Admiral Pegasus. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like the video if you have liked it. And also drop into the comment section below. Which of the G4 rays have you gone for? If you are already at that point, let me know what you've gone for and the reason why you went for it. I'd be interested to know which one you actually went for. Like I said, I've gone for this one primarily for the active grinding. So she's, like I say, she's going to go out and she's going to do some bit of grinding tonight. But other than that, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already subscribed. Also, we do have the join button as well for memberships for those who want to support the channel. Obviously, all memberships are greatly welcome. Anyone who does wish to donate monetarily via different means like PayPal or Cashapp, yeah, you know where they are. They're in the video's description below. But until then, that's it. I'll catch you on the next live stream. I'm Admiral Pegasus. Stay safe, live long and prosper, and see you later.